Look at these people! They no longer support me. Look! Why would they? I am your leader, and I just left. What kind of leader does that, huh? What kind of king abandons his people? What kind of father abandons his son?
Ragnar Lothbrok is one of the most haunting figures ever put on screen. In Vikings, he begins as a farmer with a restless mind and becomes a leader whose victories change the fate of entire kingdoms. His story is carried not only by battles, but by the words he speaks when no sword can help him. And so in this video, we're counting down the top 5 Ragnar Lothbrok speeches that defined his journey and carved his legacy. Each speech reveals another side of a man torn between destiny, faith, and the people he loves. Before we continue, remember to subscribe. It helps the channel grow and lets you see more videos all about your favorite characters and shows. Now, let's begin. The King Ragnar speech takes place in Season 3, Episode 9, Breaking Point.
I did not become ill because I aspired to be one. It came about because of other people's actions. And I did not become king out of ambition, but once again, I had no choice as a result of other people's actions. But nonetheless, I am king. King Ragnar. That is my name. King Ragnar. What does a king do, Bien?
He rules.
Yes! Good! He rules! And as a ruler, I have the last say. Me! Not you! Not you! Not you! And not you! You've all had your ideas, and they have all failed! I will not.
By this time in the story, Ragnar has been pushed into leadership by events that spun far beyond his control. He fought Earl Haraldson. He survived King Horik's schemes. He watched the people around him argue over influence while failing to keep Kattegat united. Every collapse, every betrayal, and every moment of hesitation from others created the situation he now faces. When he stands before his people in this episode, he speaks with the weight of everything that forced him into the role he never openly sought. The power of this moment comes from Ragnar's honesty. He tells them he did not rise because of ambition. He rose because their actions left him no alternative. His tone is steady. He does not raise his voice. He simply states that he is the king, and because of that, the final decision belongs to him. This scene marks a shift in Ragnar's journey. He understands the throne will take more from him than any battlefield. He recognizes that leadership demands choices that carry consequences no one else wants to face. The speech becomes the moment where Ragnar moves from adventurer to ruler, fully aware that the crown will change him. It is not triumph, it is acceptance. And as Ragnar accepts what the crown demands from him, another moment reveals how deeply he understands the weight of authority, and that moment arrives in his reflection on power itself. The power speech reflects Ragnar.
What do you see?
Power.
The power of a king? Power is always dangerous. It attracts the worst and corrupts the best. I never asked for power. Power is only given to those who are prepared to lower themselves to pick it up.
at a point where he has begun to understand the cost of influence. The speech appears earlier in the series, in Season 3, Episode 1, during a quiet exchange that reveals how he views authority after witnessing how leaders rise and fall around him. By this time, Ragnar has seen the ambitions of men like Earl Haraldson and King Horik. He has watched power twist intentions and expose weakness. The world has shown him that authority is never simple and that it often destroys the very people who crave it. In this scene, Ragnar is asked what he sees when he looks at the symbol of kingship. His answer reveals a truth molded by experience. He describes power as something that draws dangerous men, yet it also breaks those who once carried good intentions. He admits that he never sought it. To him, power is not a reward. It is an object that lies on the ground waiting for someone desperate or wounded enough to bend down and claim it. That single idea exposes his entire philosophy. He sees leadership as a burden that a person must pick up only when there is no other choice. Ragnar knows the world needs strong leaders, but he also knows the dangers that come with the role. The speech reveals a man who understands the throne far more deeply than the people around him. It shows why his journey becomes heavier with every season. Now, Ragnar's understanding of power shapes him as a ruler, but the depth of his spirit is revealed most clearly in the moments when he faces loss, and no moment cuts deeper than the goodbye he gives to his daughter. The Gita death speech.
Gita, I've come to say goodbye to you properly. I've been thinking about you, about when you were small. You were so lively you could run as swiftly as the wind. You're like Quicksilver. But then before I knew it, you stopped running here and there and everywhere, and you became still. 12 years old, you had the stillness and the calm of a fine woman. What children you would have produced. What joy that would have brought to all of us. Dear child, Gita, you are not gone because you are always in my heart. They say a man must love his sons more, but a man can be jealous of his son. And his daughter can always be the light in his life. I know very well that you're with the gods. But I will wait here a while. And if you want to come and talk to me, come and talk. And I'll gently stroke your long and beautiful hair once again with my peasant hands.
Appears in Season 1, Episode 9, one of the earliest scenes that exposes the full depth of Ragnar's heart. After returning home, he learns that his daughter Gita has died from a plague that swept through Kattegat. The news shatters him. For the first time, the fearless raider and ambitious dreamer becomes a grieving father who must face a loss that no battle could prepare him for. The village has already moved on to its rituals, but Ragnar walks alone to the fresh grave where his child is buried. His speech is not directed at a crowd. It is not meant to inspire warriors or intimidate rivals. It is a quiet confession, spoken to the earth where Gyda rests. He talks about her childhood, the way she moved with energy, the way she grew into a calm and graceful presence before illness took her away. His words carry a tenderness that the world around him rarely allows him to show. Ragnar reflects on the future she never reached and the life stolen from her before it ever had the chance to unfold. This moment changes how viewers understand Ragnar. It shows a man who can face armies without fear, but trembles when speaking to the memory of the child he adored. He finds comfort in the idea that she is with the gods, yet he remains by the grave, hoping she might still reach for him in some small way. The speech exposes a side of Ragnar that power can never touch. Ragnar's grief for Gyda shows the depth of his love as a father, but there's another loss that strikes him in a different way, revealing a bond shaped not by blood, but by faith, conflict, and friendship. And that loss belongs to Athelstan. The death of Athelstan occurs.
I still don't. You're a brave man, Athelstan. I always respected you for that. You taught me so much. You saw yourself as weak and conflicted, but to me, you were fearless because you dared to question. Why did you have to die? We had so much more to talk about. I always believed that death is a fate far better than life, for you will be reunited with lost loved ones. We will never meet again, my friend. I have a feeling that your God might object to me visiting you in heaven. What am I to do now? I hate you for leaving me. I ache from your loss. There is nothing that can console me now. I am changed. So are you.
The death of Athelstan occurs in Season 3, Episode 6, and it becomes one of the most devastating turning points in Ragnar's life. Athelstan was more than a companion. He was the one person who challenged Ragnar's beliefs without hostility. Their bond formed slowly through conflict, curiosity, and shared vulnerability. When Athelstan is killed by Floki, Ragnar's world is fractured in a way that feels different from any previous loss. This was not a child taken by illness or a warrior claimed by battle. This was a friend taken by human hands and religious fear. Ragnar's speech takes place when he kneels beside Athelstan's body. His voice trembles as he admits how much he learned from him. He acknowledges Athelstan's doubts, yet insists those qualities made him stronger than he ever realized. Ragnar speaks about the conversations they never finished, and the future they will never share. The pain in his words reveals how deeply Athelstan shaped him. Their friendship softened Ragnar's heart and opened his mind to questions he was never allowed to ask as a Viking and a king. This moment exposes Ragnar's isolation more than any battlefield wound. He believes that death brings reunion, but he also recognizes that Athelstan's God will not welcome him. That separation crushes him. For the first time, he admits hatred toward fate for taking someone he loved in a way he cannot undo. The speech becomes an expression of loss, confusion, and transformation, marking the beginning of Ragnar's spiritual unraveling. Ragnar's grief for Athelstan marks a breaking point in his spirit, and the final speech that follows later in his life shows how he faces his own death with a clarity shaped by every loss and every victory that came before it. Ragnar's final speech Ragnar's final speech takes place in Season 4, Episode 15, the episode that closes his journey and sets the path for his sons. Captured by King Aiel, Ragnar is beaten, caged, and prepared for execution. Despite the brutality around him, he faces death with calm acceptance. Instead of fear, he speaks with the voice of a man who has already made peace with his fate. He reflects on Odin preparing a place for him, confident that his story does not end in the pit where his enemies intend to throw him. The power of this speech comes from Ragnar's certainty. He does not try to negotiate. He does not plead. He speaks as someone who knows his legacy has already moved beyond his own body. His sons will carry his name, his victories, and his mistakes. The thought of them continuing his fight brings him comfort. He imagines the feasts of Valhalla and the tales they will share when they join him. This acceptance gives the speech a sense of triumph, even when death stands inches away. Ragnar also shows defiance. He declares that his death requires no apology, and that he welcomes the forces that call him home. The men watching him expect fear, yet he offers none. Instead, he steps toward death like a warrior whose life has reached its rightful conclusion. This moment transforms him from a king into a legend. His final words echo through the story long after his body falls, marking the end of his life, but not the end of his influence. What did you feel while revisiting these moments from Ragnar's journey? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk about which speech struck you the hardest. If you enjoyed this breakdown, remember to subscribe. It helps the channel grow and lets you catch more in-depth videos about the characters, scenes, and storytelling moments that make film and television unforgettable. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again in the next video.